We're trying to figure out what our nightly plans are because the clubs don't open until later here, all right? And like I was just saying, 4 black dudes, 4 Mexican girls. So I don't want to hear about race ever again.
What's up, gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. This video is going to be a little bit different than usual. This is going to be more vlog style with clips and some narration added in because last night I went out with a few other YouTubers and we had a great time. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you some awesome things about Guadalajara, some clips of those awesome things, and why men are trading in Keisha and Karen for Marie. Is a lot of people say, oh, all the Mexican women are fat or overweight or what may have you. None of these women are overweight. In fact, when you see the picture, if you haven't already, of all 8 of us together, none of them are overweight. They're all fit, friendly, and feminine and fun as well because we went out and did a little bit of clearly open-minded because you had 4 brothers out there with 4 Mexican women. You'll also notice they are more fair-skinned than the typical image of a Latina or Mexican woman that you see online. And so when people say, oh, I'm black, I'm Asian, I'm what may have you, will I have success in Guadalajara? The answer is a resounding yes. And keep in mind, all of the women are organic, which means they are not professionals. So it was all cold approach. It was social circle, completely organic methods of meeting women. So those are a couple of the things that I wanted to highlight for this video. You can be whatever race, you can be whatever height. I was probably the shortest one. Your skin color doesn't matter. And the women are clearly open-minded to whoever you are as long as you're well-dressed, you're well-presented, and you're enjoyable to be around. It's not rocket science. You'll see, if you haven't already, that we are all of those things. Although one of us almost had to change their shirt to get into the club because, like I said, some of these places are sometimes when they're classist, they want you to look the part. So don't expect to be strolling up there like you're Mr. Cool. Things like this could possibly happen to you if you didn't have that knowledge and you just showed up thinking, oh, I'm hotshot Mr. American, I can get into anywhere, or Canadian or Australia. You know what I'm getting at. Alright, so with all that said, let's get into some of the costs that are going to be massively different than back in the States. So where we went was a really nice restaurant in the Andares area.
Just getting started.
It's called La Tequila, and it's not like fine dining, but it's nice. And there were 8 of us. So 8 of us, drinks, appetizers, entrees, was $350 US or around there. And that was for 8 people, once again, in one of the nicest areas in Guadalajara, technically Zapopan. And it was a really nice restaurant. I'm not talking like super fine dining, but it's really high quality. And I obviously haven't been to the United States in a very long time, but I'm sure for the drinks, the appetizers, the entrees, in San Diego, that would have been at least $800, if not more. And if you guys can correct me, you can do so in the comments down below, because that's just a rough guess. Then afterwards, we went out to a nightclub. We actually went to a couple different spots, but for like the nightclub spot, we went to a place called Lulu Private Club, which I'm going to be 100% honest, would not recommend that place. The vibes were off from the beginning. That's where one of us was asked to wear a different shirt, and then they just let us in for whatever reason. And we had to pay a cover charge of, I don't know, 200 pesos or something like that, which not a big deal, but the minimum spend was like 20,000 Mexican pesos or something. So like 1,000 US dollars split between us. Not super expensive, but pretty expensive by Guadalajara standards. And like I said, the vibe was just kind of off in that place. Not the greatest music, it wasn't super lively, and so we ended up just leaving and going to another place called La Santa. In La Santa, younger crowd. A table, and that reminds me, the table we got at Lulu, little tiny place with 2 like seats for the 8 of us, and we're like, this ain't gonna work. We're packed in this mother trucker like sardines. We ain't doing this. So we bounced to La Santa, like I was saying. In La Santa, vibes were much better. We had a giant table where all 8 of us could fit. Comment down below what a table would cost in a really nice area. Like I said, this is the Andares area, at a popular, nice club. How much would you pay for a table and 3 bottles with service with all those considerations? Let me know down below what you would expect to pay. So I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Type it out real quick. And now the big reveal, it was 12,000 Mexican pesos. So like 600 US dollars, which is an absolute bargain. So I say this to give you guys some context on how you can improve your quality of life, because obviously these are just 2 aspects of living in Guadalajara. There's other things with different costs, but this gives you a sense of how you can have a higher quality of life with a lower cost, because once again, I have to remind you, we are in one of the nicest possible areas, and we're going to some of the nicest places. This isn't like McDonald's and some club in some rat hole part of the city. This is the upper echelons of Guadalajara. Alright, so that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you for watching. I truly appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. And make sure to smash that like button if you haven't already, because it helps me out with the algorithm, costs you nothing, and means the world to me. And I will see you guys next time. Peace, much love.